So finally, Asians are now becoming aware. You cannot see clips where Asian women, in fact, Asians in general, are telling their own kind they should confess and they should confess and not only confess, but to ask for forgiveness from black people. This video is going to be interesting. It's going to be hot because I'll be bringing out and spilling the tea. Yes, we are actually doing something that is, I should call a revolution. We're changing the mindset of Asians, and the truth is, this black boycott of Asian businesses is just exactly what we needed. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're returning, you're welcome back. I think this video, you're going to enjoy it. Share this video, give this video a like. Let's run into it.
Imagine hating the word so much, but yet you still use it on your own folks. And another thing, if you want to cancel all this business, by all means, go ahead and try to cancel, boycott the hair, walk around with your bald ass head, don't eat the Chinese food.
A few days later.
So this is the end of the line for the hair palace. Let me show y'all how far the line goes. It's a very long line.
I'm going to respond to this in two videos, one speaking generally, and in this video I'm specifically going to address Asian control of the black beauty industry. Now, this is a topic that is a huge source of tension between black and Asian Americans. So before I get into it, I want to make a couple of things clear. As an Asian American, I have never liked saying a problem is a particular ethnicity or is not a particular ethnicity. However, in the past, when I have talked about this comment and referenced Asian Americans generally, I have been perceived as throwing all Asian Americans under the bus. So to make it clear, it is a relatively small percent of the overall Asian American population that engages in this business. However, it is important that we acknowledge that this predatory business behavior is a significant contributing source of the aggression and daily violence that is faced by many black people. So now getting into it, there is such a prevalence of Asian-owned and operated businesses that sell beauty products for black people in black neighborhoods that at this point, Asians also control distribution and manufacturing. And what that means is that in this context, Asians do hold the systemic power to deprive black people of economic opportunity by preventing them from opening these businesses in their own communities. A prospective black business owner can have secured financing, secured a property, and met all other licensing requirements, yet still not be able to open an account from a distributor because the distributors are Asian and they don't want black business owners competing with Asian business owners. Now, this is something that is specifically East Asian. I've heard that black business owners have better luck opening accounts with Indian distributors, and I would love to hear from people if this is true, because I would hope that it would create competition. Now, in case there are people who are thinking, I can't believe that in East Asian just said that she hopes that East Asian businesses are driven out, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that I hope that competition can be created to finally dismantle a toxic dynamic that's been going on for way too long. Predatory businesses would be faced with a choice to either remain predatory and go out of business or become competitive and improve customer service, which is something that should have happened decades ago.
Saw a woman recently saying that we should boycott Asian businesses because she said that black people can't win when Asians own all of the businesses and that we had it easier coming to this country. As an Asian whose grandparents immigrated to this country and as a business owner, let me dissect this. Complete bullshit. Have you never heard of P-bashing before? Have you not heard about the 16-hour shifts that our grandparents did in the mills here up north? Those people worked endlessly.
I think she said it perfectly there. The truth is this, right? Asians do not only control the supply, they control the distribution of every cosmetic or every beauty product in the United States. I'm not telling you just because I want to tell you this. And to be honest, it makes it very difficult for black-owned businesses to succeed. Now that this boycott is coming in, blacks have to find a way to start sourcing their own products. They have to have their own distribution networks because we are sick and tired of it, right? Somehow, some way, I think they make prices of goods a little bit expensive, if not more expensive than if to black people than if it was an Asian buying directly. So I think she just placed it as I wanted. But there are more clips. Let's get into it.
12-hour, 16-hour shifts in mills, getting their hands all mangled up in machines just to get by, or working as toilet cleaners and just to survive. They didn't have it easier. They were disciplined and sacrificed everything. Just to make it clear, I want to bring communities together. I'm not here to divide communities. I just want to point out exactly how the Asian community built some wealth. And don't say we had it easier, because even in 2025, just in September, a Sikh woman was raped and told go back to her own country. Don't talk about easier when we get that kind of treatment in 2025. The reason why our grandparents did better is because they saved every measly penny they could get to invest it in long-term assets, houses, gold, businesses. You call that privilege? They were patient and willing to live in the shit for the hope of a better future. Tell that to our ancestors who crammed into tiny houses, 5 different families, sharing food so that they could save up money to buy their own homes eventually. Instead of enjoying their lives, they lived in the shit just to get by. That's not easier. They paid the price for it. And they didn't buy nice clothes, they drove shit cars, they spent nothing. And then their children now own and inherit these homes, and then they can put them up as rent and generate cash flow from it, giving the next generation a leg up essentially. And that's the way that wealth accumulation works. Each generation creates assets or purchases assets to then pass on to the next generation, so they have a little leg up, and then their kids benefit from that. Even now, I mean, I can afford where I live very comfortably, but my dad says to me all the time, Jamil, you should come home, come live at home, because that is their literal wealth building tactic. Stay home, live below your means, and save money. And let's get one thing straight. Yeah, we run a lot of businesses, but don't blame us for taking the risk of starting them. Don't blame Asians for filling that spot for a corner shop. Anyone could have bought it. You could have started that business. Our ancestors pooled resources for the community together, so that the community could win. Instead of hating online, why don't you speak to those Asian owners and learn how they did it instead? I don't come from a rich family, and that's the exact reason I'm a business owner. I've got a biomedical science degree and I can work in a hospital, but I know that if I want my kids to have a better life, then I need to build some wealth, and I'm not going to do that sat working for other people. Me and my brother are the classic example of 2 people coming together, pooling resources and building a business and succeeding with it. And that's one thing that I actually miss about the older generation. Back in the 80s and 90s, Asians had a community like glue. They worked together. They weren't selfish. They built something so that their kids could live better lives. And I'm disappointed, honestly, because historically, colored people have always come together and had each other's backs. And we've always unified in the past. I mean, historically in the Caribbean, Indian migrants literally shared culture with the people who live there. That's literally where curry goat comes from. You need to take some accountability and learn about sacrifice and stop blaming the world, essentially, because that's what our grandparents did. That's all they did to accumulate wealth. They were bashed in the streets and still sacrificed so that their children don't have to suffer the same way.
Asian American businesses have been operating in Black communities for 60 years. I'll say it again. The Civil Rights Act passed in 1964, and the United States opened the door to Asian immigration in 1965 to put immigrants in the way of Black people. And this idea that the tension between business owners and customers is one of mutual cultural misunderstanding that could be overcome if they just got to know each other better, the time for that has long passed. And as I've said before, the problem with framing the misunderstanding as mutual is where one demographic owns the businesses and the other demographic has to pay. There's no mutuality. There is a power imbalance. The only situation that I could see being beneficial at this point would require Asian Americans to be willing to leverage their ability to secure the business loans, to secure supplier accounts, and to attain business licenses, to open in Black communities specifically to hire Black people to work in the businesses and to provide the professional development opportunities so that Black people can become the leadership in the businesses in their communities. But I don't have a lot of hope that Asian Americans are willing to do that, because the Asian American business owners that we see currently are not even willing to treat their Black customers as human. So I fully support Black people boycotting these problematic businesses in their community. And I want to say that I think another thing that non-Black people aren't aware of is that it is not as simple as boycotting the businesses and putting them out of business and then opening your own to compete. Because the system will find ways to still not give them the loans or rezone them so they can't open a business or not grant the business licenses. And suppliers are literally conspiring against Black people who have managed to open a business in their own community to not supply to them because they don't want Black people competing with the Asian American owned businesses in the community. So I wish that I had more to offer in the way of solutions, but I really don't. But please do not gaslight Black people with respect to what the issue is.
You could tell them. And the best way to show them is keep our Black dollars in our Black pockets. The going forward, the mantra should be this: if you can't respect Black people, you can't get Black dollars. It's just that simple. I would not give my money to nobody that disrespects me, period. You better treat me with respect. I don't care if you don't like me. You better fake like you do when I come in there. Because my money, I work hard to earn my money. So I'm not going to freely just give my money. Let me tell you something. Look at every dollar that you earn, whatever how much you earn per hour. Let's say you earn $20 an hour. $20 represents 1 hour out of your life. And you're going to take 1 hour out of your life and give it to somebody that can't stand you. Think about that. You're going to take that $20 and give it to that woman in the video that say that you can't, that Black women are bald headed. This is what she says about Black women. You're bald headed. You won't make it without their businesses. We'll starve. We'll shrivel up. We'll do all of that because if they don't have their businesses open in our community, oh my God, we're not going to make it as Black people. We need them. This is how they feel about Black America. And say, yeah, I'm cool with Trump with the mass deportation. I'm cool with that. You wonder why some Black Americans were saying, yeah, what's ICE number? You wonder why. Black Americans also saying that they're going to be calling the state board and making sure the license is good, that some of you use it. See, things that would have never came your way without your disrespect. See, the disrespect, what that's telling Black America is that you agree with what Rick Child did. You glad that he got off of taking the life of that young brother. And you're doubling down on the support of him. That's all you're saying, reading between the lines. And you're telling Black people, I dare you to try to boycott your business because you don't have enough. Listen to what she said. She said, we don't have enough businesses. That means, sisters and brothers, we need to go overtime opening up businesses in our communities. We need to go overtime opening businesses. That is a direct challenge to Black America, is to open up enough businesses where we don't need nobody. Remember, we have no friends, brothers and sisters. We have no friends. And when you don't have a friend, that means you got to shop within your community and circle out money within our community. Because these other groups, they're showing you they never respected us as a community. All they want is our money, and they disrespecting us in the process. This is, trust me, all of this is good. This is a good thing. Let them say the things they're saying. I'm not really mad at this woman and what she's saying. A lot of her messaging was targeted at the sisters. And, I don't know why you feel that Black women are bald-headed. Black women aren't bald-headed. Black women grow their hair naturally down their back. What are you talking about? But she's saying that because she has no respect for Black women, or definitely Black people, because Black people go to the restaurants and all the men go to the restaurants, whatever the case may be. Maybe some go to the beauty supply store to get items. But this is a message of disrespect. And that's what we are seeing with this situation. Because they truly had respect for Black America, they would not be acting arrogant. They wouldn't be telling you, go ahead and do it. Because listen to what she said. She said that we as Black Americans need their businesses. We cannot survive. I mean, y'all, listen to the craziness this woman says. We cannot survive without businesses from her community. That is the most arrogant, asinine, and just straight dumb thing I ever heard in my life. So all these hundreds and hundreds of years we've been in this country, we talking about even after slavery, where you think we were living? Where do you think we were shopping? With you? You couldn't even come to this country. They had the Chinese Exclusion Act. They wouldn't let Asians come to this country at all like that. So how did we survive all these years without you? Y'all, some of you other groups think that we as Black Americans need you here. We don't need you here in America. And you wonder why a lot of Black people...
Speaking specifically to the Asian community right now, we need to stop pretending like anti-blackness does not exist in our community, as if it's not a problem, because it is. We see it in the stereotypes that get repeated in our homes, in the way some people talk about Black communities, the excuses people make when Black people are harmed, and in the silence that follows when accountability is needed. The response for some Asian Americans for the killing of Cyrus Carmack Belton has been deeply disappointing. Instead of centering a 14-year-old Black child who lost his life, some people rushed to defend Rick Chow, justify the shooting, or shift blame onto Cyrus himself. That should disturb all of us. We cannot keep demanding solidarity from other communities when anti-Blackness within our own community goes unchallenged. We cannot talk about the racism Asian Americans face while refusing to acknowledge prejudice that exists in our own families and social circles. The model minority myth has convinced some Asian Americans that proximity to whiteness will protect us. It will not. That myth was created to divide communities of color and to encourage us to see ourselves as separate from the struggles of Black Americans. When we buy into that mentality, we become participants in a system that harms all of us. Accountability is not anti-Asian. Calling out anti-Blackness is not anti-Asian. Using to excuse harmful behavior because the person involved is Asian is not anti-Asian. It is the bare minimum. If we are serious about justice, then we need to be willing to confront uncomfortable truths about our own community. That means challenging anti-Black comments when we hear them. That means rejecting stereotypes. That means listening when Black people tell us about their experiences. That means recognizing that solidarity is a commitment. It is not a slogan that you wear, that you can just slap on whatever you want. Cyrus Carmack Belton deserved to grow up. He deserved to be safe. He deserved better than the assumptions and the fears that ended his life.
Let me educate y'all a little bit just to make sure that we all on the same page. Aside from the fact that he's a 14-year-old carrying a gun with a laser, pointing it on social media, and all of the other stuff, right? Because I've had these conversations. If you guys are unfamiliar, 14-year-old walks into a store. They say that he didn't have any money, but he got a backpack, he got a gun, and the gun has a laser on it. He gets confronted after walking around in the store for 20 minutes, taking stuff, putting it back, taking stuff, putting it back. They suspected that he shoplifted. Ultimately, he got chased and the gun fell out. This is according to the testimony, not my opinion. What was testified was that he pointed a gun at the son. The father then shot him, tried to resuscitate him. They called 911. They was distraught about it. Rick Chow, 3 years later, then gets acquitted, not guilty. Let me be the person that says the uncomfortable part out loud. What makes y'all think that even before this, that Black culture ever messed with y'all in the first place, that Black culture was championing Asian causes? And I don't care what type of Asian people that you talk about, because most Black people just automatically assume that you're Chinese. Let's be clear about that. And it doesn't matter. They're already calling for a boycott of you guys, even though you didn't have anything to do with it. And it don't matter if you was Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, whatever. It doesn't matter. They're already calling for a boycott. So y'all thinking that y'all got some kind of solidarity with Black culture. You're no different than the white apologists that continue to uphold this racist narrative that keep us divided in the first place. If you think in any shape, capacity, or form that Black people care anything about you outside of what they can order from your store.
Now, I'm going to show you clips of Black people reacting to Asian women saying we can't survive without their businesses, so that you get to understand exactly why Blacks acting the way they are acting and the way we have to approach this going forward, right? Because it's very important, regardless of the fact that we're boycotting their businesses. How do we go forward? That's the biggest question. How do we let this slide? We can't, so that we could forget about them forever, right? This is where this clip takes me in.
I saw a video where an Asian content creator challenges the Black community to boycott Asian businesses because without their services, apparently we'd be lost, because they mass produce and counterfeit everything, but all the things he mentioned, they did not invent. I think that he fails to realize that the hype around items and making things culturally relevant That's us. We're the blueprint. We are also the bag. The black dollar represents $1.6 trillion in spending with our silly selves. So while it's not okay to go on social media and create a racial divide, it opens up some conversations about how we should be recycling our own dollars. If y'all want to tag some black hair companies where the manufacturing or is not out of China, maybe it's out of India. If you guys want to tag some Latino and black nail tags, black-owned businesses in terms of clothing where the manufacturer is not done in China, that would be great, because I'm a part of a group on Facebook called Black Dollar Connect. You guys want to check that out if you're in the Indianapolis area. And it's about services and recycling the black dollar. Maybe that's things that we need to consider. He probably is sparking a conversation that needs to be had, however, ill his intent was. So everyone have a great day and recycle those black dollars.
So the Asian community is very, very upset right now. They're throwing a hippie fist. I mean, they literally are saying that we can do whatever, we're ghetto, we're not going to be able to supply black people. All of these things are being said. All the video that are circulating around, that majority of the Asian community are saying that black people, we don't have the tenacity, we don't have the backbone of boycotting because we need to stop eating Chinese food, stop going to nail salon. We're not going to be able to do all of that. So they're making threats. But the thing is, I want to say to all the Asian community, we are not saying, black people are not saying that we don't love you guys. We're definitely not saying we don't respect you guys. We are only saying that right now, for far too long, when we were disrespected by many of you guys, what we did, we did not do anything about it. We still come back. We forgave. When you walked around and follow us in the nail store, when you talk to us dirty, when we come to the nail salon and you treat us, you talk about us in your language, we still forgave you. We come back. But this time we are only saying black people need to keep the dollar in the black community, the same way the Asian keep the money in Asian community, because you guys send your money back home. You guys don't shop at black community. I know for a fact because I had a restaurant, same place where a person who is Asian, and we go there and buy their food, but they're never caught dead in my restaurant buying food or trying to support me, even though they know it was me and I support them. So this is all I'm saying. We are not saying that we're not trying to spread hate. We're not trying to spread any hate at all. What we are saying, simply saying that we are going to support each other. Hi guys. Hi friend. We're simply saying, hi mama. We're just simply saying that we are going to support the black community, because for far too long we have been disrespected, been discriminated about, and all this thing going on. We still come back. So now we have to go and support the black community. And yes, for some of you guys, you're gonna be losing money, but majority of you guys are online saying, oh, you guys gonna boycott, let's see. You guys are like threatening, like we have to buy from you guys. We don't have to buy from you guys. That's the reason why we had Block Wall Street back in the days, because we are powerful. Black people make up 90% of your business that you get is from black people. We support, we're the shopper, we buy your products. And then when you find out that as we are saying that something dramatic happened and we're going to hold our dollar, instead of you guys saying, what can we do, or how can we come together, you guys are out here throwing threat like, oh, let's see you do that and this and that, like as if you're mad that black people want to support other black people. Now, when you carry on like that, your business, some of you guys are going to lose a lot of customers. That's why it's cricket in a lot of places that we go. Be careful what you speak out of your mouth. When time like this is very sensitive for us, because we lost a child behind this racist bull that you guys been pulling. And we are going to support our black people. And no matter what you guys say, that's what we're doing. Catch me in the next video, guys.
To the Asian man who challenged all black people to boycott all Asian businesses, I'd like to say thank you. We haven't seen a level of unity and camaraderie this large since probably George Floyd. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if black people would have ever gotten to this point where we all unified under one singular movement this way. Like, it is powerful. The Asian people are starting to feel the effects of what you have done. This is impacting your people more than it's impacting my people. We are uniting against this. You have destroyed Asian businesses. That's you. You did that. And I'd like to thank you for getting my people to work together on something like this. This means the world to me. And to the Asian people who are hurting because of the decisions and the words that this person has said, you know who to come for. He did this to you, not us. He said we don't want you guys, so we said okay.
So let me tell you, I knew this was coming. My Asian friend called me and she said, "Are you guys really boycotting Asian businesses?" And I knew that was going to happen. I knew it was coming. And I said, well, honestly, it's really not a boycott. It's a black dollar shift. And she said, what do you mean? What is that? I said, we're going to shift them in another direction towards black businesses. It's not about hurting Asians. When you think about it, we should have been supporting each other. One other thing that she said, it's not really fair though. Like, why are y'all making the Asian businesses suffer? And I said, but do we owe y'all our money? Do we owe y'all our dollars? Why can't we spend our money where we want to spend it? And if we choose to support black businesses, why are you offended? Then this was what really got me. I said, have you ever been in a black business? Have you ever been to a black restaurant? She actually said, I don't know, but maybe. I said, well, see, that's the issue. Because I don't have to say, oh, I don't know, maybe. I've been in Chinese restaurants, many. And I've been in many nail shops. I've been in many beauty supply stores. I have. I said, so how y'all mad that we are taking our dollars and supporting us? Y'all support y'all. You tell me yourself that y'all have Korean grocery stores and so forth. Y'all support y'all. Well, don't be mad that we want to support us. You know, there's no love lost. We still cool. We still tight. But I knew one of my Asian friends were going to call me and ask me about this.
When I tell you I am proud of us, please believe it. I have not had my nails done since before the pandemic. And clearly, I don't have any hair, so I'm not visiting anybody's beauty supply store. But the way the African American community thus far has come together to boycott these Asian businesses who have shown little respect for the fact that our dollars are the ones that are helping to keep them afloat and sustain them in our neighborhoods, because they weren't allowed to open these same businesses in Caucasian areas. The fact that you guys are banding together, you are going into other establishments and making sure, holding other shoppers accountable who may not know about the boycott. Baby, we're doing our big one. I just need all the other African American businesses who don't have the banners out front, put your shit out front, let everybody know who you are. And if you're coming across my timeline, I'm liking, I'm sharing, I'm doing all the reposts, I'm doing it all. We need to keep this thing going. Spend your money where you are valued and appreciated. You don't see us, we don't see you. Money talks and bullshit walks. Good job.
The amount of people that are just figuring out that black people have decided collectively, you know, for the most part, to boycott Asian establishments. Y'all didn't know? I'm sorry. And I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, well, you know, it was just one Asian. It doesn't mean that all of them are like that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It really doesn't. However, yeah, we move in packs. We move collectively as a group to prove a point. To prove a point. And so then people are like, that's why there's all of this division. It creates division. It creates division. Well, they have been collectively trying to divide us for the longest. So we're going to remove ourselves. We're going to remove our money, our black dollars. See, Target figured it out, and they're still struggling, right? And then the Caucasians and the Alabaster disasters were like, yeah, we don't like Target either, right? And that's where change happens. That's where change happens, because it also forces those other businesses and the Asian businesses to look and step outside of themselves to see if there is any, and there is, and that's the reality of it. So I won't talk about the fact that my nail tech is African American and has been for a very long time. I'm aware of disparities and I have discernment. I just have discernment about the people around me and the people that I want around me. So, yeah.
And I asked them, I said, should we boycott Asian shops? Is that what we should do? And then every one of them said yes. Yes. Because how are black people supposed to mobilize if they're in our communities? It's not no Asian hating. It's about economics and why black people can't keep their black money within their community. So when you go to your corner shops and, you know, the food stock that they sell, right? They sell our food. They go to the corner shops. They have chicken shops lined up in our thing. It's all going back in into their community. How's it coming back into ours? We have to boycott them. We don't want to, but we have to boycott them to keep it within our community. Otherwise, how are we going to progress? Right? I can't do it on my own. I need black people to help me. And I also said as well, I said, black people, you need to take time with black businesses as well.
Yeah. What you need to do, it's not even about boycott the Asian shop. It's like, buy black. That's all your message is. No, buy black.
The reason why I disagree with that, sorry to cut you.
No, go on.
The reason why I disagree with that is because when you say buy black, we still are about convenience until we get out of that mindset to strictly go and buy black. You have to give black people options. If I don't give them options, what they're going to do, they're going to fall back into the cycle. You have to get, and this is what I'm saying, like when I said boycott the Asian shops, it's because they're literally in every single community.
As you said, give the alternative. So you can say, the only reason I'm saying, because I think getting tied up into a culture war also isn't helpful for us. Because we just look like the aggressors or something. No. I'm not saying don't call it out. I think there's a conversation that I definitely think there's a conversation that needs to be had.
That's the whole point. I just don't get how, like, instead of considering the fact that you want to, like, make black people understand that this person is wrong and trying to silence the person who did such a thing, so that at the end of the day, you guys can continue earning a living, you guys can continue making your money. You guys take it up to your heads and like, no, let's prove to these guys that we're superior. Let's prove to them that, no, we are the kings here. They are only going to depend on us forever. But the way forward is, blacks, learn to source your own, learn to create your own, and patronize your own. We have to do that. That's my message for you guys today. We have to only patronize our own, make the black dollar circulate among our own people. That way we'll be free of all this. Just the only way. Thank you for watching this video. If you love content like this, please do want to subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and I'll see you in another one. Bye bye.